Hello, and welcome to Transformation by Truth podcast, where the called become the chosen, and those who have been dedicated to serve the Most High receive the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, as we progress our quest for holiness, perfection, and everlasting life. My name is D.L. Anderson. I'll be your tour guide. Let's get started with today's lesson. Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast in the quest for holiness, perfection, and everlasting life. Today's podcast is a brief word from your host. Exciting times are on the way. Today's podcast is entitled In Between the Phases. For as many are led by the Spirit of Elohim, these are sons of Elohim. Romans 8:14. Now, the podcast objectives are: 1, let you know what I've been up to the past few weeks. 2, let you know what to expect in the upcoming weeks. And 3, let you know what you should be doing as you wait for the quest to begin. Now, our first section is entitled, What I've Been Up To. First, I've spent the past few weeks preparing for and celebrating the feasts of Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits. It was an amazing time to reflect on how Yahushua Messiah is revealing himself in my life and our ministry. My prayer from this festival season is simple. I want for everyone who was touched by our ministry to see Yahushua Messiah. And I have been fasting to enhance my prayers because I am expecting big things for our ministry this year. As I have taken a mini break from the podcast ministry, I've been able to refocus and seek the Father for direction on how and when to launch the next phase. The first phase, the quest for holiness, and your conquest of the pinnacle of power. As you know, we recently concluded the preliminary phase, 7 themes, 11 weeks, and 55 podcasts dedicated to preparing you for the quest of a lifetime, a quest in which I, by the power of the Holy Spirit, will lead you down the only path that leads to everlasting life. Before we formally begin this quest, the Father has directed me to take an undetermined amount of time to complete certain tasks he has assigned me. These tasks are required to ensure this ministry and those who join us are prepared for what is to come. This is all happening in real time. And so I'm asking those of you who have signed up for the quest or are being led to sign up to please bear with me. We will be kicking off this quest, and soon, but no sooner than the Father leads us to. Now, our next section is entitled, What to Expect in the Upcoming Weeks. Now, as I'm preparing myself and the ministry for the journey ahead, I'll be working towards 3 primary goals. Once I complete these goals, we will resume the quest with your conquest of power. First, I will be executing a marketing campaign to ensure everyone the Father has called to join our ministry can find us and sign up for this quest. This is in line with the objective of our ministry, which I shared during the feature week. That is, to connect with men and women who have been predestinated to have everlasting life because they are choosing to walk in obedient faith to the Father's will. Seeing as we are not surrounded by men and women of like precious faith, the Father has led me to reach men and women all over the world. And the centerpiece of this call to outreach is our podcast ministry. The Father knows I take this calling seriously, and I am prepared to invest whatever is necessary to do whatever it takes to ensure no one is left behind. And He has blessed me to make sure that I don't. Here is my solemn promise. We will reach everyone who has been predestinated to experience salvation through our ministry. And this podcast ministry is a primary reason we'll all be able to make good on this promise. Secondly, and on a personal level, I'll be moving in the upcoming weeks. Naturally, this move will take a great deal of time and attention, and I am not prepared to post anything except a high quality product. The small number of true ministers understand where I'm coming from. The time, focus, and preparation required to deliver the word of truth is substantial, even for those of us who have spiritual gifts of knowledge and wisdom. As it pertains to wisdom, the word of truth reveals, he who wins souls is wise. This revelation is twofold. Vis-a-vis, he is wise for desiring to win souls, and he is wise in how he goes about it. He takes great care to ensure he reaches everyone who can be reached. For this cause, I'll be posting impromptu podcasts in the upcoming weeks as I wait for the Spirit to tell me when it is time for me to resume the quest. This will ensure everyone who has been following us remains engaged during this quote unquote break in the action. And again, since the Father has designed it to be this way, there are obviously manifold benefits to this interim period. Firstly, it gives you all an opportunity to go back and review the lessons from the preliminary phase. This will be critical because I shared a great deal of information in a short amount of time. For that reason, I encourage everyone to take the time to go back and listen to all the podcasts I have posted, beginning with the trailer and the feature week. Likewise, if you are just recently finding our podcast, you will definitely need to listen to all the podcasts from the preliminary phase. This will give you a clear view of who we are, what we have to offer, and what this quest is all about. Now, our next section is entitled, What You Should Be Doing as You Wait. Besides reviewing past podcasts and the podcasts I post in the upcoming weeks, there are 4 more things I'd ask you to do. Yet in saying that, I am also asking you to be Spirit-led as you do. First, I would ask you to pray fervently. You must believe me, those who are not on this quest in some form or fashion are not going to have everlasting life. Your prayers then should be centered on ensuring you are on this quest and you are making consistent progress. And when it comes to progress, prayer is the primary way to make it your reality. Likewise, prayer is a primary manner in which the Father, via his Spirit, communicates with us. Therefore, the only way for you to know of a certainty that you have been called to join our ministry is if you have been praying about it. To complement your prayers, I would ask you to fast and to be focused. Along these lines, I'm not telling you how to fast. I am simply asking you to fast however the Spirit leads you. And this is something you should receive via your prayers. I am also asking you, as much as you can, to eliminate the distractions in your life that would prevent you from hearing the still small voice of the Spirit. What you may not realize is that the Spirit speaks expressly, and he communicates with us all the time. That can and will be you if you amplify your prayer life with Spirit-led fasting and an advanced level of focus. This is how we have ascended to a spiritual plane we are operating at, and it is how you will ascend if you have been called and should be chosen. Now, here is the final word. You never know exactly how you'll get anywhere in life until you get there. There are many times in our lives when we think we know how something is going to happen, and then reality sets in. Plans change as we find ourselves entertaining a new set of circumstances and factors we were unaware of, despite our best spiritual efforts. If you've been there once or twice, take my advice. Even if you succeeded in those situations, you'll be there again. For our spiritual lives are filled with recurring lessons. This is how we become masters of our faith. All you have to do is be flexible and remember that we are always operating at fractional levels of knowledge. Notwithstanding, one thing we will always know is true. If you walk in obedient faith to the Father's will, then he is most certainly leading you. So be led, my friends, in everything you say and in everything you do. It's all being recorded. And this is why those who enter into everlasting life, although indeed a multitude, the number will be few. The same can and will be said for those of us who are called to and complete the quest for holiness, perfection, and everlasting life. Here is the assignment for today. If you have not yet signed up to join us on this quest, go to www.pinnacleofholiness.com/next and sign up today. Remember, I will not be posting every podcast to our public audience in the next phase. And so it will be impossible for you to continue with us if you have not signed up. Likewise, if you have questions that are preventing you from signing up, I invite you to reach out to us via our contact page at www.pinnacleofholiness.com/contact and let us know. I will get back to you because I don't want anything to stand in your way if you've been called and choose to be chosen. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast in between the phases, the first in this impromptu lesson series. And the next podcast is TBD. I don't know when I'll post it or what I'll say, but I will be spirit-led, and I trust you will be too. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Remember to tune in with us every Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And if you haven't already, visit us at www.pinnacleofholiness.com and make sure you sign up to join the quest for holiness, perfection, and everlasting life 2022.